Hi friends, welcome back to the channel Learning Literature Online. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe it and hit the bell icon so that you won't miss the regular updates from this channel. Today, let us discuss an essay of studies by Francis Bacon. The essay of Studies is one of the most quoted essays of Sir Francis Bacon. Through this essay, Sir Francis Bacon explains the importance of reading, that is study. He elaborates on its benefit, rules, advantages and disadvantages. He even further explains how far it is important for mental health as physical exercises are important for bodily health. Francis Bacon was born on 22nd January 1561 and was died on 9th April 1626. Is also known as Lord Verulam, and he was an English philosopher and statesman who served as Attorney General and as Lord Chancellor of England. His works were credited with developing the scientific method and remained influential through the scientific revolution. He was Lord Verulam and Viscount, and he was philosopher, scientist, essayist and jurist. His essays first appeared in 1597. His essays were translated into Latin, French and Italian. The writings of Francis Bacon can be classified into three: one philosophical, then literary and professional. The famous writer Alexander Pope had called him the wisest, brightest and meanest of mankind. His essays cover topics like religion, personal wisdom and moral contraries. The characteristic features of his essay is that it is aphoristic, that is, he is straightforward in the presentation. Some of the characteristic features of his essays are: they are loaded with wisdom of experience and observations conveyed through short, compact and terse sentences. Then they present all aspects of human life and cover topics like truth, religion, beauty, friendship and marriage. Then in his essays, he has made use of Latin and Greek quotations as he had comprehensive knowledge of the classics. Terseness of expression and epigrammatic gravity are two of the important characteristics. The essayist Francis Bacon begins his essay explaining three purposes served by studies. They are delight, ornament and ability. The chief use for delight is in privateness and rhetoric, that is, the chief use served by studies for happiness is one is in privateness. When one is in privateness and when one is in retiring, that is alone. For ornament, it is in discourse, that is speech and writing. Studies can be served for ornament while one speaking, and for ability is in judgment and disposition of business. the ability learned by study or acquired by study can be used in judgment and execution of business. For expert man can execute and perhaps judge of particulars one by one. But the general counsels means advice, and the plots and marshalling of affairs. Marshalling of affairs means arrangement of affairs come best from those that are learned. To spend too much time in studies is not desirable. It will lead to idleness. To use them too much for ornament as a decoration is affectation. To make judgment completely by the rules acquired from studies is only done by scholar, that is, it is humor of a scholar. By this, the essayist brings out abuses of studies. The essayist now stresses the importance of experience. He says that they perfect nature, studies perfect nature, and are to be perfected by experience. For natural abilities are like natural plants that need pruning by study, and studies themselves do give forth the directions too much at large, except they be bounded in by experience. He stresses the relevance of experience, as natural abilities acquired from studies are like natural plants. As natural plants need pruning, these studies also should be supported by relevant experience. Here, the essayist explain how the studies are being used by different kinds of people. Crafty men contemn studies, while simple men admire them, and wise men use them. Only wise men use the abilities acquired through learning or study, for they teach not their own use. Wise men teach not their own use, but that is a wisdom without them and above them, won by observation, that is leading wise men. Now, the essayist puts forth some general rules for study. He says that read not to contradict and confute, to find argument, not to believe and consideration, and nor read to find talk and discourse, but you have to read to weigh and consider, to calculate. Some books, he says, some books are to be tasted, just to taste it. Here he brings out distinction between the books you choose. He says that some books are to be tasted, some others are to be swallowed. See, have to be swallowed, and some few are to be chewed and digested, that is to be read deeply. That is, some books are to be read only in parts, and others to be read not curiously, and some few to be read wholly and with diligence and attention. You should pay complete attention while reading some other books. Some books also may be read by deputy, that is by assistant. You may read some books with the help of some assistants and extracts made of them by others. You may simply read some extract, but that would be only in the less important arguments. And the meaner sort of books are distilled books, are like common distilled waters, that is flashy things. Abridged are like distilled waters. Here the essayist explains the benefits of studies or advantages of studies. He says that reading makes one a full man, a well-informed man, while conference, reading and speaking makes one a ready man, that is quick-witted, and writing makes one an exact man, a perfect, accurate man. And therefore, if a man write little, he had need have a great memory. If he confer or speak little, he had need have a present wit. He should be witty. And if he read little, he had need have much cunning to seem to know that he doth not. See, these are the benefits or advantages of studies that makes one a full man, a ready man, an exact man. Different kinds of studies have different values and different effects. Histories, according to Bacon, make men wise. Poetry makes men witty. Mathematics helps the wandering wits that leads to subtlety. Natural philosophy makes men deep, while moral science makes men serious, and logic and rhetoric is helpful to content. He says that studies pass into character. Abunt stadia in most means studies becomes part of the character. At last, Bacon says that different kinds of studies are prescribed for defects of mind. He says that nay, there is no stunt or impediment, no defect or impediment, hindrances in the wit, but may be wrought out, it may be cleared by apt studies, like as diseases of the body may have appropriate physical exercise, as the diseases of the body may have appropriate physical exercise. Mental problems can be solved with the help of different studies. He says that bowling is good for storm and rains, shooting is good for lungs and breast, gentle walking is good for the stomach, riding is good for head, and the like. So, if a man's wit be wandering, let him study the mathematics. For in the demonstration, because in demonstration, if his wit be called away, it is not ready to stay still, never so little, he must begin again. Whether he was not able to concentrate, he should restart. If his wit be not apt to distinguish or find differences, let him study the schoolman. If his wit is not ready to distinguish or find differences, let him study the schoolman, philosophies. Let him study the philosophies, for they are simni-sectes. If he be not apt to beat over matters and to call up one thing to prove and illustrate other, let him study the lawyer's cases. So, every defect of mind may have special receipt. Thank you.